And I was like, what? I'm not even going through treatment, and like I'm just changed my diet and this is happening. Once you start feeling this way, like a superhuman,
Hmm.
um, then you're like, well, none of that's worth it anymore.
You
Because
got to Overland Park, Kansas, and that's where you are now. How did you find out about carnivore?
yeah, so funny thing, I had already known about carnivore. I knew about Michaela Peterson. I'd actually tried carnivore for a couple days. I think I only lasted 4 days before I finally hit the keto flu, and my symptoms went just through the roof. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not meant to be a carnivore. I've been eating carbs my whole entire life. I think I still need to keep on eating my carbs.
Yeah,
So
and you're an athlete, so you thought you needed
yeah,
carbs.
I was an endurance athlete, so it was always carb load, carb load, carb load.
Hmm.
And I I went to Sprouts and I was just getting my typical uh, healthy haul. I always made chicken divan with organic brown basmati rice, free range chicken breast, carrots, broccoli, shallots, and cheese. A lot of Tillamook cheese.
Good
Uh,
cheese.
Good cheese. Yeah, the little three cheese blend and the cheddar. I did both of them, two big bags and the one thing, like just so cheesy. But I loved making that chicken divan. I would do like salmon, Brussels sprouts, sweet potatoes, like roasted sweet potatoes, stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it was all healthy for me, but I still struggled. I was still taking a leave about every other day or every third day, just depending on my activity level or any stressors that I had, going on at the time. Never really truly found remission or I would say it was in remission because it was way better than the tens at night and sevens during the day. I was kind of happy and complacent with where I was at. I was like, okay, this is going to be my life. But, I was hoping being in chiropractic school that I would find more answers. I think that's why he led me up here for not only myself, but for others. And so I was at Sprouts. I had my grocery haul. You had told me about a certain like supplement to replace Aleve
Formula 303.
Formula 303. And
Yeah, for my arthritis.
I asked the lady in the supplement aisle. I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know if you'll have any of this Formula 303 and where I could find it?" And I showed her like a little picture on my phone. And she immediately asked a question. She was like, "Well, why do you need to find that?" And I was like, "Well, I've been taking a leave a lot for my chronic pain issue, and I just feel like I need to get off the leave. I can feel my insides drying out. I definitely don't want to be on dialysis." She then she kind of like kept asking another question. She was like, "Chronic pain? Like, what type of chronic pain are we talking about? Is this like neurological?" And I'm like, "Well, yes, ma'am. I got diagnosed with a condition called CRPS and actually ended up finding remission from it, but I'm still dealing with pain and discomfort on a pretty much everyday basis. And, I just want this Formula 303 so I could
Just
help
give it to me.
leave."
Well, let me go home.
Yeah. And she's like, well, have you ever tried to, remediate it with diet? And I was like, yeah, I eat pretty clean. I mean, you see my basket right now, and she's like, "Well, you ever heard of the carnivore diet?" And I was like, "Yeah, I actually tried it, you know, about a year ago, and I didn't have much success with it. I think it was about after 4 days, and I had worsening symptoms, and so I gave it up." And she's like, "Well, you didn't do it long enough." And it was like you were just getting the keto flu, and it's like,
Okay,
okay.
so you forgot to say what this woman did for a living. She
Oh
worked
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
Sprouts.
Yeah, so she wasn't just like a Sprouts worker. She was a retired nutritionist that had been nutritionist for like 30 something years.
Yeah, I just think this is a great story. So go on.
Miss Jan. Yeah. Every time I go in there, I say hey to Miss Jan. Um,
You saved both of our lives, maybe.
yeah. She told me about Dr. Eric Westman and Dr. Ken Berry and to go home and research them, use them as resources. And I sure shit did. And I was like, well, dead come. there might be something to this. So immediately started carnivore, and like within a week, just started feeling, not even within a week, it was like within a couple of days. I think it was like 3 days or 4 days. I started feeling better, but like within a week, I was doing things that I never thought I'd be able to do again. So I was able to sleep on my back with my foot up and the sheets like on top of my foot, which I was never able to do. I was always sleeping on my belly, have my foot hang off the end of the bed because I couldn't have any pressure on it. Or I would put a pillow in between my legs and lay on my side and have my foot kind of dangling off the pillow that way there was no pressure on it. But I remember falling asleep and being giddy again because I remember that feeling when I was at Spiro and that happening to me, and I was like, "What? I'm not even going through treatment, and like I'm just changed my diet, and this is happening."
Mhm.
So I was like, "Yeah, there's something to this." And I kept on doing my research on it, listening to more stories because there's so much anecdotal data on it. But yet, the mainstream um, food people and a lot of doctors want to tell you that you need fiber and certain nutrients in your diet, and you're not getting vitamin C and everything from a carnivore diet. And was like, well, actually, you do get trace amounts of vitamin C, and it's actually the only amount of vitamin C you need. Um,
And
yeah,
you're not eating a bunch of junk.
and you're not eating a bunch of junk to go along with it.
You don't need fiber when you don't eat a bunch of junk. You don't need something scraping out your insides.
You get all the amino acids.
Good fatty acids.
Yep. Saturated fats.
So Miss Jan, was that her name?
It's Jan.
So Miss Jan got you started. You got me started.
Yep. I sent you a video. It
Dr.
was
Corey.
Dr. Ken Berry on the autoimmune
Yeah.
issues and how they find remission with
That made
carnivore.
made so much sense to me. And
Yeah, with your microbiology background, I figured, that you kind of like always my go-to for anything medical. Like I was gonna ask Dad, you know.
he'll help you with business. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we both got on this thing, but your road has taken a few more turns than mine has. You've had some ups and downs on your carnivore journey.
Yep. Carnivore is not easy because carbohydrates are the most addicting thing in the world. I have quit nicotine. I have quit smoking weed. I have quit alcohol. And there is nothing harder than quitting carbohydrates. The keto flu is just withdrawal symptoms from carbohydrates, essentially.
You had the keto flu this time when you started carnivore?
Did I?
Mhm.
When I went back to it, I had very short keto flu, not long at all. So it wasn't as bad as the first time when I had it. I think maybe if you want to like go through it one time, that would be good enough. I wouldn't recommend doing it through again, but it wasn't that bad the third time around, technically. But yeah, I've had ups and downs through it. I was strict for the first month and a half or 2 months. I kind of quit counting. I had a journal for a while and I don't know where that journal went. I think I documented like my first 15 days. But I was not as strict as I am now when I first started. I still had cheese in the diet, dairy. I was doing more chicken, more fish, like deli meats too. Like I thought deli meats would just be fine. And I was getting like clean deli meats and still like free range chicken and whatnot. But I really needed that ruminant meat, and I could tell there was something missing. So I was like, yeah, I started watching more videos, and it was all ruminant meat, ruminant meat, ruminant meat. And I'm like, yep, I'm gonna start eating more steaks and chuck roast and ground beef. And so when I first started, I was getting those what's that brand with like the ground venison with the heart and liver and
Ancestral blend.
ancestral blend. Yep.
Ancestral blend.
Yep. So I was getting those. So I started eating implementing a lot of organs into that diet with a lot of ruminant meat. Cut out all dairy, all cheese, and it was just eggs, beef, salt, butter, ghee, tallow, essentially. And I started feeling like a superhero. Felt great. Um, everything that was going wrong or I was feeling bad from, it was just pretty much gone. I wasn't taking a leave anymore. I was able to exercise and work out without feeling anything. The mental clarity, the brain fog was completely gone. My recall ability was much better. And I really wish I would have stuck with it because if I was continuous all the way up until now, there's no telling where I would be. But life happens. So was doing carnivore for about a month and a half. Was able to get the diet right, kind of where I wanted it to be. And then I had a nice little cheat day, I think with some Raising Cane's fried chicken, which is super good. And then got a taste for those carbs again. And then like slowly but surely would start getting, Raising Cane's or, the Five Guys or um, basically I was like having a carnivore meal and then not a carnivore meal and then a carnivore meal and then not a carnivore meal and that cycle kind of happened for a while and then I was like, well, just forget the carnivore stuff. um I'll just kind of go back to eating what I want to eat and suffer the repercussions from it. And I did. I started eating like crap again and
What did they say about the definition of crazy?
yep. Yeah, 100%. Or idiocy. Very idiotic of me to know that I can feel way better just from not eating certain foods. And it took me a while to realize it. Well, I realized it. I was like, man, I should just start back carnivore again instead of having to keep on taking these leaves. My days were terrible. Um, I was not doing as good at work as I thought I could, and my studying got way worse. The amount of brain fog and the concentration because pain would come up and like it would be tough to concentrate from being in pain.
Hmm.
And then like I'm like, well, how am I going to make it through 3 more years as these classes get tougher and tougher and tougher? I was like, I got to do better for myself, for my family, especially for the Lord. And so I got back on it. It was after it was after the weekend that my friends came up to visit. So you and Dad had come up for a weekend, and we went and had a lot of fun. And then the weekend after,
We ate carnivore.
no, I
We just
mean,
didn't drink carnivore. I ate carnivore the whole time
yeah,
I was there.
yeah, I didn't eat carnivore. I had those pancakes at both the
True.
restaurants, and I was drinking beer, and alcohol is not carnivore. Alcohol is probably no longer going to be a part of my life. I do not respond well to it. I never have. I've just always done it for the social aspect of things, and the stigma that you get, like if you're not going to drink. Um, yeah, I was drinking, and especially once the friends came to town, it was definitely not carnivore at all. We ate whatever and whenever, drank a lot.
How'd you feel after that?
I felt absolutely terrible. I took an leave pretty much every night. Once everybody passed out, I would go grab an leave and take it, let it kick in, and I would go to sleep. And it was kind of the same way when y'all were here too. I was like ready to get back home and pop an leave, so I could calm down and go to sleep and wake up rested in the morning and go have fun.
We had a great time.
Yep, we did. We had a great time. I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, it was miserable. And I felt miserable after that weekend. I enjoyed having everybody up here, but I was like, something has got to change. I looked terrible from those pictures that you had taken of me when I was up here. Um, I looked like absolute shit. Uh, and I was like, that didn't look like me back, February and March, when I was doing strict carnivore. Like I had lost so much weight in my face, around my belly. Uh, the brain fog was gone essentially. There was so much more clarity to my thinking process. My recall ability was way better. I'm like, I got to get back on it. And I knew it was going to be like a modality, a treatment that I was going to preach, not practice. Keto, it heals a lot of things. Like once your body goes into ketosis, you know, there's remediation of so many different illnesses and diseases. So it's going to be a great, easy treatment for people to make. It's just food, and there's no side effects to it whatsoever except withdrawal because you're literally addicted to a drug, which is carbohydrates. And once you come off of it, it was carbohydrate. I've quit nicotine, I have quit weed, I have quit alcohol. Carbohydrates are by far the toughest thing to quit.
Mm.
Um, I'm talking like the amount of cravings I had and the sweating at night, and this is from carbohydrates. And then kind of like going through the keto flu, which keto flu is basically just withdrawal symptoms from carbohydrates. That's what keto flu is. And it can be pretty brutal. So once I was able to get through that, that's when it was just smooth sailing from there. Felt great, and I was like, why would I ever want to eat this crap again? When I feel like this. Uh,
Right.
and
What's a typical day of eating for you now? When you're on plan and you're doing well, what do you typically eat in a day?
it depends on what I have in the fridge, but
Yellow Snickers at Sprouts.
I grab yellow stickers at Sprouts. A lot of it ends up being ground beef, chuck roast. I grab steaks whenever I can, ribeyes, strips, beef tenderloin. Um, so yeah, it's just whatever I can get on sale at Sprouts. And then eggs. I probably eat at least 5 eggs a day. There's some days where I eat more than that. And sardines. I don't eat sardines every day. Probably about every other day or every third day. Whenever I need calcium, that's when I eat my sardines.
I still haven't tried sardines. I have some in the pantry and I haven't tried them yet. I'm going to do it on video someday and people will
It's
watch me taste my first sardine.
I never thought I would eat sardines. Never thought I was like, sardines is gross. Sardines and anchovies, no way. But it's really good. And especially once you've been on carnivore and like you eat to nourish your body and not eat for pleasure.
Right.
Yeah, it's a totally different way of eating.
Right.
Um, you feel completely nourished after eating sardines. And the reason why I eat sardines for my omega-3s and calcium and phosphorus, magnesium is because of mercury factor. So sardines have very low mercury in them compared to tuna, swordfish, any of those other seafood items that you get, um, and higher protein concentration. Um, you can get like a little can, and I think it's like almost 20 grams of protein, and it's good omega-3s, good EPA, DHA. So it's a superfood.
Yeah.
It really is. I
Yeah, I'm
love,
gonna try it someday. I have cans in the pantry and they're like there for the zombie apocalypse or whatever.
yeah,
I
they'll
have
be there
to
for a
eat in
while.
case I ever need it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna clear off the shelves. If that ever happens, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
when
they'll,
that
they'll
comes,
still
everybody's
be.
going to get sardines.
Yeah,
Sardines, tuna fish.
no, leave the sardines for me. Yeah. But it's really good if you heat up some ghee or butter. I don't use microwave. I just put the ghee or butter over the stove, let it heat up,
Mhm.
break them in half, let them soak in that ghee or butter, and then throw salt up on top of them. And yeah, it's like a royal, not like a royal red, but if you think of it like a royal red, then it kind of is.
And it's a royal red, dipping it in butter like that.
Yeah, I always let them soak. When I start peeling the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of like that type
There's
process.
got to be a process, right? You and I
Mhm.
were that way. We like our process.
Yeah, I never liked fried eggs. I eat fried eggs with my steak all the time. So if I ever have a steak, I'm having three or more fried eggs with it. And I eat all the fat off my steak. I pretty much just clean my plate and I'll slop up all the juices and everything that's left on there. And like well before we got on this call, I was eating a pound of ground beef, and 5 eggs scrambled in with it,
Mhm.
and
Look
salt.
delicious.
It so one thing I like to do is like look at people cooking like barbecue or something like that, like on these like little shorts for food, and I live vicariously through them as I'm eating my pretty bland food. Now I enjoy the steaks and like eggs.
Mhm.
That I don't have to look at those videos, but for that particular meal, even though it's super nourishing, and
Did you throw some of that Redmond smoked salt on there?
I only do it for my chuck roast. So if like
Redmond smoked salt's really good on that beef and eggs.
I do it for my steaks and for my chuck roast. So when I do my chuck roast as like a pot roast, I will like let it. I'll season it with the smoked Redmond's real salt. Same thing with the eggs. So
So, Corey, what is your carnivore superpower?
it is not having CRPS pain anymore, and basically forgetting that it's a problem for me. Now, you kind of like jog my memory having me talk about my past, which made me a little sensitive, like just thinking where I was and where I am now, where I'm able to go to sleep with my feet, pointed up, and go on runs that I wasn't able to go on before, walks. I'm working out
So you're running
regularly.
again?
I am running. Well, I'm walking more than running right now. I can run.
That's great for you because you've never been one that likes moderation.
I'm trying to moderate. I know my body is not where it was when I was younger, because I had been sedentary and, because of CRPS for so long. I can go out and I bet you I could finish 6 miles, um,
Normally, you
easily.
would try to prove it to somebody. So
A
I'm,
100%, just because that's who I am. But like, I won't do it because my body doesn't need that right now. So I've been walking a lot and I've been trying to build up strength. So a lot of core exercises. I actually have a six pack now again. Like again, I don't think I've ever actually had a six pack before. I've been working a lot, on hip strength too as well. I don't want IT bands to pop up, but like my little bit of discomfort and stuff that I do have has mainly been sciatic, and it's basically just from piriformis. So I do a lot of stretching too, which is very beneficial. So I probably do like a little stretching routine, if not every day, definitely every other day. You kind of more as needed, especially like at the end of the day, I'll do like a little warm up and then stretch. So definitely not having CRPS pain or any type of neurological pain. That is my carnivore superpower. But everything else that comes along with it's just a beautiful thing. Like the shoulder pain I used to have, and my shoulder, like those little knots, gone. My back used to pop out of place. Remember that all
Mhm.
the time, and I think that was like a little form of EDS.
It's EDS. Now that we know, yeah.
Yeah. And then that used to cause so many issues. I could probably pick something up with bad form and that not happen. My hips feel
Your,
great.
your brain.
Yes. So the mental clarity is incredible. My callback ability, as far as my studying goes, and my retaining ability, me being able to retain information is a lot better than it's ever been before.
Yeah,
Uh,
you weren't really a fantastic student before, and
no.
you like to read.
Well, yeah, I'm like reading, medicinal chemistry now,
No
stuff like
fun.
that. Yeah, I don't get to like read for fun, but
Yeah.
this is fun. This is like enjoyment, like getting to um, see all that, like the
Yeah.
therapeutic index for drugs and getting to understand those a little bit better. So yeah,
So, do you see carnivore as something that you can do the rest of your life? Do you see this as completely sustainable?
100% sustainable. And whether or not I want to do it the rest of my life, probably not. I mean, I live in this world, and this world offers certain things that I would like. I'm really good at making pancakes. I would love to be able to make pancakes for my children one day. That's one of those things I've been thinking about. And I don't want to make carnivore pancakes. Are you kidding me? Get out of
Oh,
here. Like, no, nor do I want carnivore ice cream or anything that's like trying to act like something that it's not. You always used to do that with the gluten-free stuff, and it used to piss me off. Um, so I will not do that to myself until I'm in a
or
spot.
your children.
Yes, and I will be making pancakes for my children, and I'll be making pancakes for myself, hopefully one day. But until then, it's going to take a while for me to get to a point in my health journey where I want to be. I feel like I'm already in a fat burning state. I'm in ketosis already. It's just how long do I need to be in this before I start seeing the results I really want to see? Um, and I'm really happy with where I'm at now. Basically no pain, just discomfort, a little bit of discomfort, but I'm sleeping through the night type discomfort. I feel like there's more to go. And so I'll just continue to stay on this carnivore diet until I feel like I'm ready to start reintroducing things back into my diet. If I do start stepping out, it'll be in a more of a ketogenic diet. Like I think I would like to have some fruits, maybe eventually one day. But like as far as like eating pizza and all the bad foods again, like I don't think I'll ever do it. Like I could probably have like a pizza without the crust, just give me some good cheese, like actual cheese and not like ultra processed stuff. And pepperoni is kind of always going to be ultra processed, but make it you know a good
As plain
good
as possible.
yeah, a
Yeah.
good slice of pepperoni and some sausage and throw that in there together on and a good bake, and yeah, I will eat that. I've already kind of come up with some keto recipes too that I want to be able to enjoy. So definitely keto. I think carnivore is 100% sustainable. I think if anybody has CRPS or just any type of issues that they want to remediate, then carnivore is going to be a great way to start. It's the ultimate elimination diet. It gives you everything you need as far as nutrients goes. If you do it the right way, and you will never feel bad. You don't need energy drinks. You don't need supplements. I don't take any supplements. I came off coffee once I got back strict carnivore and felt great. Felt great. I just kind of reintroduced it back in my diet, and I noticed I'm starting to wake up sluggish again.
Hmm.
I used to just hit the ground running, and I was hitting the ground running at like 6:30 in the morning, getting into my business, just drinking water and electrolytes. So I guess there is this little supplement I do. I use Element, the unflavored Element, so it does not have any of those natural flavors that they put into it. But yeah, it's been good, and I can definitely see myself sustaining off of this diet for a long time. Yeah.
So if somebody is watching us for the first time, which I pray that happens, I hope that somebody finds this and goes, oh, this is interesting. If somebody's thinking about starting carnivore for the first time, what is the best piece of advice that you can give them?
Expect to fail. Expect to fail. Like I said, carbs are extremely addictive. Um, it, it it will be really tough having to smell walk by restaurants and smell it.
You work in a doctor's office, a physical therapy office. People are constantly bringing fried chicken and donuts and
Yeah, that was one of those days actually when they brought in Raising Cane's. They brought in a 50 tailgater of Raising Cane's, and I was like, "Gosh, I've been doing this diet. I can't. Oh God, it smells so good." And there was another day when they brought in pizza. I had one of the patients that brought in their homemade cinnamon rolls,
or
and
somebody brought banana bread or something or zucchini bread or something. You said
uh, brownies, yeah, banana bread, cinnamon rolls. Once
you
they
can't just tell the patient, "Oh, hey, I'm on a diet. I can't eat that, but thank you for thinking of me."
Right. Yeah. It's their homemade. They put like love and a lot of effort into making that, specifically
Hard.
for us. Yeah, they're at the clinic. So, Yeah, yes, like some of those things that like you just kind of have to like almost bite a bullet and eat it. But thankfully, I think I have more self-control now because of the way that it would make me feel
Mhm.
afterwards. With my situation, I think it's a lot easier to justify it, just like kind of what Peterson does with her situation,
Mhm.
her RA symptoms. As soon as she steps out of bounds, it's like comes right back. So I don't think there's ever like remediation. It's something that'll be battling my entire life. But the way I feel on carnivore, I could never feel on any other diet. Well, maybe a ketogenic diet. But I've tried to reintroduce fruits back into my diet, and that didn't go over very well. I tried with dairy, that didn't go over very well. So I eat clean as possible. Yeah, just expect to fail.
And when
Um,
you do fail, what do you do?
when you do fail, don't beat yourself up over it. You know, you're human. Nobody's perfect. It's gonna happen. Just know that you can get back on the horse. It's just a choice that you got to make. Whether you're going to get back up and start fighting for yourself again, or if you're just going to lay down and submit to to your whims, to your own personal satisfaction, basically. And that's what I got of it. Always felt like so satisfied once I had those foods, those processed foods and whatnot, putting them in my body. I was like, oh, that tastes so good. Oh man, but I was just being a glutton. That's all I'm being, just a glutton. Now I eat to nourish my body, and I have more energy than I could ever imagine. I can fast for a very long
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
I could probably fast for days, uh, just off of my diet alone. Whereas,
Wow, being active.
yeah, if I were to be eating carbohydrates, it's like like a Snickers satisfies. If you're hungry, grab a Snickers. I remember grabbing Snickers all the time, like because it's a great marketing ploy by them. To be honest, I'd grab a Snickers and I would eat it, and then within an hour or 30 minutes, my stomach starts rolling again. I'm like, I'm still hungry,
Hungry. I just had a Snickers. How could I be hungry again?
yeah,
Must need another one.
right? Oh, and it's just those types of things. Once you cut it out of your diet, you're like, well, I don't think I'll ever need that ever again. Yeah, it tasted great and it made me feel a certain way. It bumps up your dopamine levels in your brain, and that's all fine and dandy. But once you start feeling this way, like a superhuman,
Hmm.
um, then you're like, well, none of that's worth it anymore because you're getting your dopamine in throughout the day just based off of just being happy, and fulfilled in
Right.
life. Um, so
Right. Well,
yeah.
honey, this has been awesome.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks for having me on. This has been great. I enjoyed sharing my story, all the
So
lows
glad
and
you
the
did.
highs. Yep. So
So, Corey, thank you, hon.
thanks, Mom. Love
Have a
you.
great day. Love you. Bye, y'all.